Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Recha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of First Chronicles, the 12th chapter. Now these are they that came to David to Ziklag, while he yet kept himself close because of Saul the son of Kish, and they were among the mighty men, helpers of the war. So when David had fled out of the land of Israel, or the coast, to I believe it was to the king of Gath, who ended up giving him the city of Ziklag to dwell in. And so these were the mighty men, as it says, that came to David. They were armed with bows and could use both the right hand and the left in hurling stones and shooting arrows out of a bow, even of Saul's brethren of Benjamin. So the Benjamites that came to join David. The chief was Ahiezer, then Joash, the sons of Shema, the Gibeathite, and Jeziel and Pelet, the sons of Asmaveth, and Barakah, and Jehu, the Antothite, and Ismaiah, the Gibeonite, a mighty man among the 30, and over the 30, and Jeremiah, and Jahaziel, and Johanan, and Jozabad, the Gederathite, Eluzai, and Jerimoth, and Bealiah, and Shemariah, and Shephatiah, the Haruphite, Elkanah, and Jesiah, and Azareel, and Joezer, and Jashobeam, the Korhites, and Joelah, and Zebadiah, the sons of Jehoram of Gedor. And of the Gadites there separated themselves unto David into the hold to the wilderness men of might and men of war fit for the battle, that could handle shield and buckler, whose faces were like the faces of lions, and were as swift as the roes upon the mountains. And the faces like the faces of lions and goes into, like, once again, their fierceness, just like it mentioned the lion-like men of Moab, right? And then also, you did have like the whole concept of in the actual physical sense, the whole concept of like face paint that some would put on for war. But more so in a metaphorical sense, it represents the fierceness of them. As it mentions, they were swift as roes upon the mountains. So they were fast, they were very agile, and they were strong. Azir the first, Obadiah the second, Eliab the third, Mishmanah the fourth, Jeremiah the fifth, Attai the sixth, Eliel the seventh, Johanan the eighth, Elzabad the ninth, Jeremiah the 10th, Machbanai the 11th. These were the sons of Gad, captains of the host. One of the least was over 100, and the greatest over 1,000. So the least of them was captain over 100, and the greatest of them was captain over 1,000. These are they that went over Jordan in the first month, when it had overflown all his banks, and they put to flight all them of the valleys, both toward the east and toward the west. So they basically went and drove out all those that were on the lowland around Jordan. Basically, it's an account of some of the mighty things they did. And there came of the children of Benjamin and Judah to the hold unto David. And David went out to meet them. So as you see here, it's like during David's journey, the Lord had it to where you had more and more, of the tribes that kept on coming to join him. The mighty men, the men of war that came to join David's side more and more and more. And hence he continued to grow. And as it says, he waxed stronger and stronger. And David went out to meet them and answered and said unto them, If ye be come peaceably unto me to help me, mine heart shall be knit unto you. So we're going to be tight. We'll be a tight unit. But if ye be come to betray me to mine enemies, seeing there is no wrong in mine hands, the God of our fathers look thereon and rebuke it. So if you come to basically deliver me into the hand of Saul, May the Most High destroy that and deal with you. Then the Spirit came upon Amasai, who was chief of the captains, and he said, Thine are we, David, and on thy side, thou son of Jesse. Peace, peace be unto thee, and peace be to thine helpers, for thy God helpeth thee. Then David received them and made them captains of the band. So they basically said, nope, we here, our forces are yours to use. We're basically at your command. So he added them to his army. And there fell some of Manasseh to David. And when it says fell some to David, it means like they came and joined his side. When he came with the Philistines against Saul to battle, but they helped them not, for the lords of the Philistines, upon advisement, sent him away, saying, He will fall to his master Saul to the jeopardy of our heads. And this was when the king of Gath had brought David, right? And when the Philistines were were going to go to war against Saul or against Israel, this was the same war in which Saul and his sons ended up dying. And the lords of the Philistines said, nah, you got to send David back. He ain't going to go battle with us because, he can use this as an opportunity to turn on us so he can reconcile with his master. So that's what this is talking about here. As he went to Ziklag, there fell to him of Manasseh Adnah, and Jozabad, and Jadiel, and Michael, and Jozabad, and Elihu, and Zithai, captains of the thousands that were of Manasseh. So when he returned to Ziklag, right, this was prior to, right when they found out that their city had been raided by the Amalekites, and then they were about to stone David, and they had to go and get them back. It says there that basically you had those of Manasseh here that joined him, and they helped David against the band of the rovers, right, the raiders. For they were all mighty men of valor, and were captains in the host. For at that time, day by day, there came to David to help him, until it was a great host, like the host of God. So they became those that came to help David. This continued to grow and grow and grow to where it was likened unto a heavenly host. Obviously not literally, but it's signifying how mighty he started to become. And these are the numbers of the bands, which are armies, that were ready armed to the war, and came to David to Hebron, to turn the kingdom of Saul to him, according to the word of the Lord Yahweh. The children of Judah that bare shield and spear were 6,800, ready armed to the war. Of the children of Simeon, mighty men of valor for the war, 7,100. Of the children of Levi, 4,600. And Jehoiada was the leader of the Aaronites, and with him, and those are descendants of Aaron, and with him were 3,700. And Zadok, a young man, mighty of valor, and of his father's house 22 captains. And of the children of Benjamin, the kindred of Saul, 3,000. Hitherto the greatest part of them had kept the ward of the house of Saul, meaning those of the tribe of Benjamin, right, which was the same tribe Saul was from. Until now, they had been with Saul, basically guarding him. But they had some of them that came to help David. And of the children of Ephraim, 20,800, mighty men of valor, famous throughout the house of their fathers. And of the half tribe of Manasseh, 18,000, which were expressed by name to come and make David king. And of the children of Issachar, which were men that had understanding of the times, to know what Israel ought to do, the heads of them were 200, and all their brethren were at their commandment. So the Lord had given them the ability to basically read the signs of the times, to be able to advise in certain matters. And so it's no wonder that, when you deal with more modern history with the the different tribes of the northern kingdom, particularly that of Issachar, and in the more sub-tribes, right? When you come to the Americas, you'll see the ancient civilizations, the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Incas, and so on. They did a lot of not always on the right hand, but they had a lot of knowledge of like astrology and, these kinds of sort of divination kind of like practices. Verse 33, of Zebulun, such as went forth to battle, expert in war, with all instruments of war, 50,000, which could keep rank. They were not of double heart. So they came fully persuaded, fully set in their mind for this cause. And of Naphtali 1,000 captains, and with them the shield and spear, 30 and 7,000. And of the Danites, expert in war, 20 and 8,600. And of Asher, such as went forth to battle, expert in war, 40,000. And on the other side of Jordan, of the Reubenites and the Gadites, and of the half tribe of Manasseh, with all manner of instruments of war for the battle, 120,000. That's on the east side of Jordan. All these men of war that could keep rank came with a perfect heart to Hebron to make David king over all Israel. And all the rest also of Israel were of one heart to make David king. And there they were with David 3 days, eating and drinking, for their brethren had prepared for them. So these were all those that came to David. In the book of Samuel, it mentions like Israel, right, that came, but these were like specifics of who and how many of what tribe came to David and basically feasted with him being ready to set him up as king. Moreover, they that were nigh them, even unto Issachar and Zebulun and Naphtali, brought bread on asses, to those that were closer, brought bread on asses and on camels and on mules and on oxen, and meat, meal, cakes of figs, and bunches of raisins, and wine, and oil, and oxen, and sheep abundantly, for there was joy in Israel. So that was a real big celebration. And rightfully so, because the Most High is the one who had appointed this to be the case. And that brings us to the end of 1 Chronicles, the 12th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Ruach HaKodesh. And until next time, Shalom.